Rovers fan Hale says, I think it's the Goldaway shirts. It just gives us some kind of superpower. Please can we wear them at the home games too? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to where Uncle Jack walks. It's 20 minutes of Blackburn Rovers chat. We've got 3 very happy Rovers fans here, fresh back from Deepdale, of course, this week. We're talking about our Rovers in a false position, and plus, just why? Just why are we so good away from Ewood Park, but not so good when we have to play in our own stadium? Right, let's get into it then. We're also, of course, talking about some brilliant debuts that we had in that Preston game as well. Right, Tom? Yeah. What is it? The gold kit? The pressure of not being at Ewood? Why are you just so good away?
I do love the kit. To be fair, it is a belter. Honestly, I don't quite know. Perhaps the pressure's off. I mean, it was almost like a home game. I watched it on the TV and it seemed like a home game from the amount of fans that were there for the Rovers end. And the atmosphere sounded brilliant. It's one of those funny ones where I don't quite know. Maybe there is less pressure away and less negativity creeping through with the ownership. Because Blackburn have been fantastic in some games this season away from home. And I think the result against Preston, we started off fairly slow, but once we got going, there was only really one team in it. And especially, how many times have we sat here and watched Rovers take the lead and then concede so quickly straight afterwards, but to then fight back and then get the second and not show any real negativity or change in the game plan. I think Ishmael's finally starting to reap the rewards of his tactical nous, and his man management is very good, and the players are now starting to gel. I think we've got some real players, as we've said before, in the team. A lot of them were on international duty as well and came back. I think Miller was in Australia the day before the game, which is a credit to him. And they all seem up for it. I don't quite know why it's not quite working at Ewood at the moment, in all honesty. The away performances are really good. It's just one of those things right now. Yeah, getting that goal kit every game and get us playing away.
All right then. Crikey, there we probably can spot both of you on there somewhere, couldn't we? And there's the great away end on Friday. Harry, do you think teams are underestimating Rovers? You sit second, I think, if you look at the away form table. Do you think, well, it's just Blackburn, they've struggled, they're down there. Do you think some home teams underestimate you?
I think people probably would underestimate Blackburn. I don't think anyone would look at Blackburn and think that they're one of the greatest squads or greatest teams out there. I don't think we've got any sort of outstanding players, but we seem to be a team that, when it clicks, we just work really well together as a team, and the team play really well together without having any sort of outstanding players, like no talisman. Which is strange for Rovers. Rovers feel last few years they've had one talisman leading the way for them this season, but we seem to have a real squad that all sort of chips together and works together this season. So I do think we're underestimated a little bit, but like we've been barking on all season, I think we've deserved more than what we've got from the first sort of 8-9 games or so. And when we were down in the bottom 3, we probably shouldn't have been. The performances we had warranted greater results from what we're getting. And we're now starting to see that. And that's what I mean about giving managers a little bit of time, giving them a chance to. And I think if you look at the XG table, they've got us sort of 4th or 5th in the league anyway. And how much you want to consider stats like that is a different thing. But it's proven. It's a proven stat that's worth considering. If performances show that we should be up there based on what the stats expect from us, then that's a positive sign. It shows that there's potential there to grow from. We're not overachieving, and then we're underachieving, and that ensures consistency in a way, because you can see, oh well, we're not getting fluke results here. We're getting the results that we deserved, and maybe deserved sort of 2 or 3 months ago, and we're starting to climb up that table slowly and surely. And with the league being so open this season, if we can sort of find ourselves to get into that position that we maybe our performances have deserved, and we're starting to get into, we can make a real push for that top 6, because it's really open for anyone. I think Coventry were the only team inside the top 7 that won at the weekend, so that top 6 is really open and there for the taking if Rovers can put a good run together.
You all laughed at me with my prediction a few weeks ago.
We did.
All laughed.
Yeah, I mean, you would have seen the Sky coverage mark of it because Tim Sherwood was the guest on, and he said he called out Preston for being in a false position, which has gone down well with the North Enders. But do you think Blackburn are in a false position? I mean, what do you? How he said, you're 18th now, and 6 points from the drop, but 6 points I think from the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think when you asked this question the other week, I said, you are in the table because of results. That's where you are. But I do think, like both Tom and Harry have said, I mean, performances in general have been really, really good. I think Coventry and Charlton, those games, I think we were probably not at the races with them. But I can't think of too many games where you think we've not really been in the game, whether we've won or lost. And Rovers are a bit. It either works or it doesn't. I mean, we've had one draw all season so far, so there's no middle ground. So there is that inconsistency. So false position maybe, but it is such an open league now, and like I said, if we can manage to get this home form sorted at Ewood, I think there's a real opportunity for us to really climb that table. And it's just funny how the season's panning out, because predominantly we've always prided ourselves off the home form at Ewood. It's generally been away from home where we've struggled picking up points. So yeah, as I said, performances have been really good. And again, away from home, we've had some absolutely brilliant wins away from home this season. Friday being one of those, Leicester the other week. So yeah, possibly a false position, but as I said, I think because of that inconsistency that we've had, and obviously the home form, we are where we are. But I like to think over the course of 46 games, it will. You finish where where performances and results have been. So I think it will even itself out. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot more positive than I was. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But yeah, let's see if we can back it up with the home win against QPR on Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's almost if I can jump in quickly. It's almost the opposite of last season.
Yeah,
when we were under Eustace, we were sort of grinding out results and maybe overperforming where we should have been, and by the end of the season, I know things happened, but we sort of lost our way a little bit.
Yeah.
The fact that this season we've taken a while to get into the season, now we're maybe finding our feet a little bit. That's a position that we haven't really been in. We've sort of overachieved in the first half of the season, then fallen off. So it's
fallen away.
interesting to see how Rovers will then tackle the second half of the season when we're the ones chasing rather than being chased, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about some players then, shall we? This came from Rovers fan. A good all-round performance and much needed 3 points. Morishita Pratt, we'll talk about him in a minute. Montgomery, although impressive, just trying to keep everyone fit is going to be difficult when we're already down so many bodies. Yeah, let's have a quick chat about some of those debutants, or those that started anyway. Pratt, first of all, Tom, for you. At the back, what did you think of him?
Yeah, I was really impressed, considering he'd been playing at Chorley this season in National League, and he stepped in quite a hostile game to play in. It was almost like when Owen Beck played last year in the Burnley game, and he kind of got thrown in at the deep end, and he played really well. And this was the same with George Pratt this year. I think having McLaughlin there alongside him as centre half really did help, having that elder statesman as the leader. But Pratt, for a young lad, 22 years old, did not look out of place at all. I think he was composed. He grew into the game. Obviously, a bit of a nervy start with a few little mistakes, but I think definitely grew into the game. He's a big, imposing figure, and he didn't look out of place at all in that back three. So I know injuries in defence can have been quite crippling for Rovers this season. Obviously, with Hayden Carter and Scott Wharton, the obvious two, and getting rid of a few players in the summer, not replacing Danny Bart, was a bit of a gamble. But I think we always seem to pull a player from the academy who comes with a reputation, and I think he warrants a place in the team against QPR. Like we've said before, I think he did really well. Montgomery again, another academy player. He warranted his start in recent weeks. We've said how well he's been playing. So I think we should be really proud of the academy and the players that we do produce, because we are very much on a shoestring budget. And the recruitment policy is very good at Rovers, I think, and how we embed these players in from the academy, like a George Pratt on his debut, Preston away. I think he did really, really well, and I think he should be really proud of his performance.
Yeah, you're a big Montgomery fan, Harry, aren't you? You've spoken about him before.
I am. I think he's probably the brightest spark in our academy at the minute, and he hasn't really had a chance that maybe he deserves because he's 21 now, so it's not like he's maybe 18 or 19. He's at the period now where he really needs to start being bled into the first team football, and that's what Blackburn are about. Really, it's about bleeding in this young talent, because the position Blackburn are in is we've got a really good youth academy and we're a selling club. So we take these academy players in, we give them first team football, and we sell them on for big money. And when you've got players like Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who's been really good for us, don't get me wrong, but we're getting players in on loan to then to develop another team's loan players when we've got players of our own that we could be developing ourselves. So I really want to see Montgomery really nail down a starting that position next to Tronstad. I think they can thrive together. He's no Adam Wharton by any sense, and I know the comparisons will always be he's the benchmark now in sense, which is harsh on these new kids coming in. But I think there's a real possibility with Montgomery's drive, his energy, his athleticism, as well as his ability as well, because he's got ability. For him to sit in that midfield too alongside Tronstad, there's a real good possibility there for him to have a real big role in Rovers' second half of the season. I'm a big fan of his. I think there's big things to come from him, not only this season, but in the future as well.
Brilliant. Mark, Jason is absent today. I think he probably knows we've got to talk about his main man, Good Johnson, again, who he's continually slagged off for a number of weeks. So, we've lit the blue touch paper, and the guy can't stop scoring. Have we unearthed a gem here? Oh, sorry, have we, as Rovers, unearthed a gem?
I really hope so. I mean, has he got his own 4 goals now? And I know when he got the brace at Leicester a few weeks ago, and then he followed that up with a goal at home to Southampton. And I think we were saying, I think I'd said that, I can see this lad getting 10, 15 goals, where at the start of the season you couldn't really see any. I think it's fair to say you couldn't see any Rovers player really reaching double figures. Now all of a sudden we've got this lad now that you think actually he looks like if he gets the service. He could be getting easily in double figures, and the way he took his goal on at Preston on Friday, I think a hell of a lot of credit for that, because he knew exactly what he was doing when that ball came in. He just placed it, so he didn't go in bullet header or anything. He just lovely placed it. And I think his 2 goals at Leicester and the Southampton goal as well, he was in the right place at the right time, good finishes. So that there's something there. He's got that bit of instinct, striker's instinct about him. So if we can continue to provide that service for him, I think he'll just go from strength to strength. Again, we're 3-4 months nearly into the season now. So a lot of these lads are starting to settle down now, understanding what the league's all about. I'm hoping that we've possibly got a good striker on our hands here. So long may it continue.
It's a really intelligent goal as well. If you look
absolutely,
the run he makes is really impressive.
It is.
He doesn't just go in and attack the ball in the same way that Miller does, even though Miller scores a really good header. The way he sort of bends his run, to lose his man, and then come in at the near post.
Oh yeah,
it's a really.
He come from miles on side. Really, there was never any doubt. Where, like you said, his positioning where he came from, but. I don't know if he's got enough credit for the way he took that goal, because it was it was such a lovely finish.
Absolutely.
Really also, we've had a new set piece coach, haven't we, as well, come in recently?
We have. Tom. He's only been in a couple of weeks, so again, two set piece goals on Friday. Yeah.
The fixtures have thrown up QPR then at home, as you mentioned, and then a trip to Wrexham away, which isn't a fixture that has been played for a number of years.
Yeah.
Do any of you buy into the Wrexham Hollywood story? Just briefly aside, I mean, do you Are you glad that they're here? Do you like a fairy tale, or is it a fairy tale?
Not
No,
interested.
it's not a fairy tale.
No, not interested.
Fairy tales sort of. You don't get a fairy tale just from throwing money at something. I feel like that's just that's all about rising through the leagues through sort of sustained growth. But I don't think you can just throw money at it and call it a fairy tale.
There's only one Jack Walker.
Well, yes, throwing money at something, eh? Right. In terms of you just mentioned Good Johnson there. We're on to the A to Z of Blackburn, of course, and we're on to the letter G this week. So maybe we'll be hearing his name again in a couple of minutes' time. But let us know your thoughts on all the above. We're talking dodgy goalkeepers this week because there's been a couple of howlers in the Championship recently. So it's got us thinking about revisiting our topic of who's the worst ever goalkeeper that you've seen play for Rovers. Generally, you've had a lot of good ones over your history, but any of you want to put forward the worst one you've ever seen?
Like you said, it's hard because we generally have pretty decent keepers. I mean, Christian Walton was the name that sprung to mind when I was thinking about this in our League One campaign. And he was very error prone and not very consistent at the back, and he polarised opinion. But apart from that, really, he wasn't really a first choice. He was a loanee from Brighton, so I guess we've generally been very good.
We've been very lucky with goalkeepers, haven't we, over the years? I think, David Raya, obviously, Friedel, Flowers. The list goes on. I think there's one that comes to my mind from about 10 years ago. Jake Keane. I was not a massive fan of him at all. I thought he wasn't I don't think he was particularly a very good keeper. I'm not sure where he ended up. He just seemed to fall off the face of the earth. So, but yeah, generally we've been okay. And there was a goalkeeper, probably Tom and Aaron probably showing me age here a little bit, but Alan Fettis in the late 90s as well. I remember him. He wasn't a great goalkeeper from what I remember.
Leo Wallstead. I
forgot about him. Yeah,
he was. Yeah, I remember being at Huddersfield on Boxing Day, and him having an absolute because he had a sort of 6 months of being in the first team. And I know Pears divides opinion, but Pears looked like Manuel Neuer when he came back into it.
Good shout.
So many mistakes.
He was true, wasn't he? And forgot about him. I must have definitely erased him from the recent memory.
Right, finally this week then, if we've been doing the A to Z. Thank you for all the comments we've had on this as well. I really appreciate you pointing out these three people they miss every single week. You're brilliant. You lot are watching.
We dropped the ball last week.
You did drop the ball last week. Missed some big ones for F last week, but let's hope they can do better for G this week then. So the floor is yours. A to Z of Blackburn, the one person or event or anything that gets into G.
It can only be one for this. Yeah. It has to be Simon Garner. Has to be all-time leading goal scorer. Obviously, we're talking about strikers, and obviously Good Johnson, but Simon Garner. I don't think there's any question or any doubt about that in my mind.
Maktar Gay, I was thinking of. I feel it's hard to say without having seen Garner play, but from what I've heard, just a clinical goal scorer, a real sort of a complete striker. Really could score a real sort of Lineker style goal scorer, poachers, finishers. I assume.
Yeah. Any honourable mentions?
I think Danny Graham.
Good. That's a great
shout.
In the League One campaign, and the partnership he had with Bradley Dack was brilliant. And that, Blackburn was actually the longest club he spent out. He got 50 odd goals for us, and I think he was a really good player in that League One Championship early days season with Dack and crew, Lenihan era. One of Mowbray's shrewd signings he got in there. So obviously Garner will get the nod, but I think special mention goes to the legend Danny Graham.
Yeah, good shout.
Good shouts all around. Right, before we finish, we haven't missed anyone that someone's going to go mad in the comments.
Sam Gallagher.
Yeah, Kevin Gallagher, Sam Gallagher, and with all the Gallaghers we've had play for us. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Right, we can safely move on to H next week, which should be straightforward, I think, as well. Right, thank you very much for all the comments. If you haven't yet subbed to the channel, look, there's tons of great Rovers content out there, and congratulations, I think, to some of the Rovers winners on last week's Football Content Awards as well. Brilliant to see the Championship represented there. But do like, do subscribe, and do leave your comments below, even if it is just to have a go at these lot for being forgetful of legends. Right, good luck against QPR. Good luck against Wrexham. Should be a good game, that one. We'll see you back here in 7 days to review it all. 18 weeks now we've got of Championship football before the next international break. 18 weeks of Rovers chat. Can't wait. See you next week.